MIT Center for Future Skills Excellence, MIT Art, Design and Technology University, Pune. India brings together the world's top tech women influencers leading the exponential technology. MIT
A very good afternoon to one and all present here. This is Suruchi Bhatt, your host for the session. On behalf of MIT Center for Future Skills Excellence, MIT Art, Design and Technology University, Pune, it is my pleasure to welcome all the esteemed guests and enthusiastic participants from all parts of the globe. This is the second International Virtual Summit on Women Frontiers in Exponential Technology, the platform to get inspired, informed and guided by the global technology leaders. At the outset, let me welcome our lovely keynote speaker, Ms. Alice Cole, Independent Corporate Director-Bank OZK and Global Innovator and Influencer. Thank you so much for joining us today, ma'am. MIT Art, Design and Technology believes in starting every journey of knowledge by seeking blessings from Goddess Saraswati. May I request you all to please join your hands for Saraswati Vandana. Thank you very much. MIT Center for Future Skills Excellence, under the guidance of MIT Art, Design and Technology University, Pune, is proud to bring on one platform, women who are world motivators in technology. The second International Virtual Summit on Women Frontiers in Exponential Technology is an attempt to salute women who influence and motivate and create awareness on the power of emerging technologies and career growth. As we continue our journey beyond Industry 4.0, extraordinary innovations in emerging technologies are witnessed. Work can be faster, more efficient, and more creative as a result of embracing technology. Accepting new technology can boost one's creativity and will ensure better development in technology. It seems to be the new normal to team up with technology. Let us understand from the one who has observed the growth of technology for years. It's our pleasure to have Ms. Alice an independent corporate director of Bank OZK and global innovator and influencer with us today. May I please request her, AV?
Miss Alice Beverly Cole can synthesize complex issues, identify innovative solutions, and accelerate consensus. She believes she is a global citizen that helps identify cultural diversity and gender differences in a non confrontational manner while identifying opportunities for collaborative outcomes that bring results to the top bottom line. She has demonstrated the ability to pivot while aiding corporations in settling strategic direction, enhancing revenue growth, navigating governance with D&I regulations, and identifying risk. Ms. Cole can forge trusted partnerships, empowering and inspiring those around her to unify towards collaborative outcomes. Today, she sits on public and private board meetings, serving on enterprise risk, shareholder litigation, community investment committee, and serves as investment chair of a private venture fund. Ms. Cole was recently selected to Exceptional Women Awardees. She is an advisor to the Boston University president and to other Fortune 250 companies. Team MIT Center for Future Excellence, MIT ADT University today is honored to have Ms. Alice Beverly Cole with us today for the second International Virtual Summit on Women Frontiers in Exponential Technology.
Thank you so much for sparing your valuable time. The session will be all yours now.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak to the team MIT Center for Future Skills Excellence. I would like to share what executives and corporate board members are seeing in their organization as it relates to enterprise risk and share how data and technology are vital in gauging and monitoring those risks. Risk can be identified as those occurrences that can challenge the profitability of an organization. For a financial institution on which I serve, or any financial institution, some of those risks are strategic, credit, market, liquidity, operational, compliance, or regulatory, as well as reputation and microeconomic. All institutions have risk. And right now, all institutions are looking at the geopolitical risk, and they're looking at talent acquisition, retention, inflationary pressure, and the technological innovations that are facing institutions. They're looking at how data is used and tracked. Every institution has a different way of tracking and quantifying their data. Some companies, we may be shocked to hear it, but they still use manual Excel forecasting spreadsheets, while many other companies are using charts, color charts, bubbles to show levels of risk. Each company will determine the risk they track and the levels that they will tolerate to meet their strategic and business plans and models. All these models and systems require technology and data. My request to you is that you develop data and advanced technology that improves systems and information and manage data elements, but keep you in the data mix. I want you to include all of the yous around the world, all people, all cultures, all views, include environmental sustainability and governance, what we refer to as ESG, include diversity and inclusion, which we refer to as D&I. We know that the cost and the barriers for building and adopting systems is falling, and the integration is becoming simpler. There are now viable choices between self-development, third-party development, and acquisition, of programs and systems, SaaS and interconnecting systems. In the RMA journal, authors Ashwin Rangan and Dean Yost discussed AI, artificial intelligence, in the boardroom. In that article entitled Shepherding Exponential Technologies of AI in the Boardroom, they said that organizations are adopting AI, artificial intelligence, at different paces, and that the adoption was also uneven. Early adopters may think their technologies merely expand or grow their markets and increase market share. Organizations with less experience focus on productivity gains and cost reductions. Highly digitized organizations typically invest more and invest strategically. McKinsey, the consulting company, emphasized that organizations in the telecommunications and financial service industries are the leading AI adopters. Many of these institutions are ambitious, strategic, and using long-term planning horizons. McKinsey also noted that the AI creates value in improving business performances, especially in the area of predictive maintenance. This deep predictive learning ability can analyze large amounts of high-dimensional data from audio and images that can detect anomalies in factory assembly lines or even aircraft engines. In the case of logistics, AI optimizes the routing of delivery traffic. It improves fuel efficiencies. It reduces delivery times. In the case of customer service, AI is a valuable tool to call centers, leveraging improvements for security by using speech recognition. And in sales, one can combine customer demographic and past transactional data via social media as a way to suggest individualized next product buy recommendations. In other words, AI has improved the customer's trust levels toward institutions and provided volume of information to these institutions about their customers so that they can increase the speed of responses for situations, identify risk, and in the case of a default or failure of a system, these systems and data allow faster recovery. Accenture, a multinational professional company that specializes in technology and consulting services, it says its research in the AI shows that value is added by transforming this experience. It enables digital enhanced products and services and serves to actually reach markets unreachable before or less attractive markets. AI allows organizations to not only do things differently, but to also do things, to think differently. AI has become a partner for people in business, and it needs to augment our work environments. But AI must be personalized to compete for and meet customer needs and enhance the interaction based upon the predictive power of the individual's data points. One thing we learned from this pandemic is the interconnectivity of the world through its global supply chain. Through our interconnectivity with people, our families and friends living around the world, one thing we've learned is we work better together than apart. As we view the response to the pandemic, there was competition for countries' vaccines and corporations began to work together. We saw that there was more success in combating this virus by looking at all of the unique people and we coming together because different people responded differently to vaccines and to this illness. We learned that we must keep the individual, keep the you in the data to get global results. I share with you another example. Some of you may know that when you got your cell phone, and if you have face recognition, you may have been able to open it. For many of us women, the cell phone imagery recognition app did not recognize our faces. And for some people, it could not even identify the hues and the colors of the beautiful complexions around the world of the human race. If I turned on my phone, it could not see my face and therefore could not open. What does that mean? That means that we must develop programs that capture the data that is unique to each person. I hope you think so too. Is there a responsibility for us to look at the small things like capturing the face of a phone so we all have the ability to open up our phone? I think yes. Sylvia Acevedo, who is a corporate board director at Qualcomm, said that she's been inundated by nonstop emails, texts, and messenger by people talking about your accounts are frozen, you have relatives or friends who need help or they've died, or that there's money somewhere outstanding for you. These phishing attempts are made to individuals and they're made to corporations. And many individuals have lost their hard-earned money. These scams are targeting elderly and the uninformed and children. We say as women that these data development companies did not have enough women in the development of these systems, because in cybersecurity, such a low level of women who were actually working there, women would have been able to have a higher degree and a higher level of scrutiny and security and safety concerns. They would have thought about the children, the seniors, more so than men. Also, people of particular colors or cultures or backgrounds, they have been able to identify campaigns and advertising that can be construed as discriminatory or could possibly subject a corporation to monetary damages or negative optics, which could impact the revenues of that company. Another case I share with you. Back in 2001, in the US, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration finally required that all new cars include a safety latch inside the vehicle's trunk. The regulation only came about after multiple children died trapped in their trunks, and many women had been murdered by being intentionally locked in the trunks of cars. What I'm saying is that women and diverse people need to be a part of the data and the cyber technology development. Women comprise only 24% of the global cybersecurity workforce, but they make up 39% of the global labor force, at least in the US, while women in the US are only comprising 46% of the workforce. Diverse people, oh, the numbers are even worse. In cybersecurity, there's at one point, less than 5% in cybersecurity. In the past 4 years, those numbers have dropped to even less than 1%, while Blacks in America make up 13%. As we look at the interconnectivity of things, IoT, in that area, the percentages of women and diverse people developing the data or the systems are even lower. The only solution to both the shortage of skilled workers and the broader consideration of D&I is to bring more women into the cybersecurity and tech leadership positions. We must start educating young ladies at young ages to be cybersecurity, data and technology experts. And they must become the leaders of tomorrow. We need them in executive ranks, and we definitely need them in the boardroom. Now, let me just talk a little bit about the rate of change that takes place in technology. At my age, we as humans, as we get older, we hate change. So we have to realize that change is inevitable. It's important for all of you to help us older people adapt to change. So I want you to also keep us in the data set. We have looked at how employees have exited the economy since the pandemic. Some have left because of child rearing, some to take care of elders. Some are simply burned out. And I can tell you, some people closer to retirement, they're simply frustrated by the pace of technological change and trying to keep up. We've got to make change easier too, so that consumers will adapt. Remember I said AI allows opportunities to be considered? Well, another case in point about putting diversity into the data. In the US, looking at the pharmaceutical industry, there's been much talk around the US about other countries wanting to know about the US health and our medical records. As you may know, the US is the #1 prescription taking country in the world. What may not be tracked is that there is a trend in the US medical world as it relates to younger people who are trying to be healthier. They're trying to take less medications. They're trying to explore alternative medicines that come from India, that come from China. I have traveled the world. I have traveled to India. I've traveled to Asia. I've been to the Middle East on several occasions. And I learned about Ayurvedic, Eastern medicines, yoga, meditation. And I was willing to try them due to the allergies and the negative reactions that I got from Western medicine. And in fact, I found an Ayurvedic medicine doctor who's also my family practitioner. And many doctors here in the United States are dual practitioners, doing either acupuncture in Western medicine, mindfulness in Western medicine, combining East and West medical practices. In the US, we use the FDA to approve our medical efficacies of our drugs and our medical devices. And you'll see, though, many US companies now that are working in alternatives are going elsewhere to the regulators in other countries to start the production of their work and to get them tested and verified before coming back to the US. The US definitely frowns on centuries' use of some of the practices from around the world because they lack data. So I ask you, why not work on the data and the technology to expand those various practices from around the world? Can we not make the historical medical systems become part of the leading medical systems? Let there be a combination of Western and Eastern. Could data help expand medical treatments? The medical system in the US does not look at the efficacy. In the clinical trials, it's a short-term effect. And so therefore, when there's a failure of a medical device or prescription, it's recalled, but it's after many negative effects on people's lives. I ask you, after centuries of usage of medications or alternatives around the world that have not had negative effects, wouldn't it be nice to share with the world that data of healthier prognosis? There are unique ways of doing things, not only in medical, but also in construction, in housing, in farming, agriculture, in all areas. I suggest international partnering is the answer. Partner with people from around the world, build better, improve our world. Let the data prove the positive results. There is money out there for international projects, and I know about them. And I know myself, I seek international partnerships and ventures. So people should reach out to everyone around the world. I have shared a database of private companies that are global in nature, that want and can provide not only jobs, but partnering and joint venture opportunities. Why not use the brains of all to increase the global economies of all? I ask you to make the business sure that business economies and data include your culture, our culture, everyone's culture, the viewpoints of all of us. Keep you in the data. I ask you to step out of your comfort levels, seek higher goals, work with us in your community, in your country, but with folks from around the world. Take the highest positions you are offered, even when you have self-doubt. And then do not stop and say you're not ready. Seize the moment. I'm asking you to make data technology work for everyone. Make technology embrace our diverse humanity. Embrace you. Thank you.
So as title goes, while you embrace technology, make sure technology embrace you. I must say, Alice, thank you so much. It was detailed, comprehensive, and insightful keynote, beautifully crafted to assist individuals in making finest career choices as discussed. To know that we know what we know, and to know that we do not know what we do not know is true knowledge. Great insights indeed, ma'am. I could see a couple of questions coming on your screen. Let me ask first question by the participants. The technology industry has remained remarkably resilient over the last 2 years. Everyone has experience in this VUCA world, right? Even as other industries struggled during the pandemic. So question for you is, why should businesses care about ESG, as you mentioned?
Very good question. Industry has tendency to be short-term focused. And if you, depending on where you are in the world, start looking at different countries, you'll see that doing things the way they had been doing is changing. Case in point, the wine industry. Growing grapes in the geographical areas where we have been traditional to, Italy and France. We're finding that because of global and climate change, those industries are looking at migrating north. While we can't call it champagne, you're going to find a sparkling out of England and maybe out of Germany. We're seeing changes. We're seeing areas of the world where there are food deserts. We're also seeing economic disparity, wealth disparity, and unrest. And with that can come governmental and corporate upheaval. There's no reason why more people can embrace and come into the full economic level. The governance level for any corporation is to include the practices and policies that allow corporations to look at all of this so that we as board members can follow our fiduciary honor of protecting the shareholders and reporting to our stakeholders. And there's a rise in the thought process that stakeholders are not just your employees and your customers, because surely employees have made it known that they have more power during this pandemic, but also our communities. So that's why we must look at all of that data.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. As I mentioned, MIT Art, Design and Technology University is the new generation university for innovation and entrepreneurship. And we have our own incubation center backed by Atal Innovation Mission at our campus. So let me reframe this question for you. Where do startups fit in corporate ESG strategy, ma'am?
Startups should start at the startup level by inclusion of all in the employee base. I'm actually working with a company that is a startup, one of the private venture firms. We started about 5 years ago. I met the young woman, loved the fact that she had been a serial entrepreneur, and she wanted to give back after being in the tech world. I joined her. 5 years later, we have funding from all sources, institutions, institutional, individuals, family funds. And it's time for us to have also international funding as well. I know many people in the United States who have companies in the housing market, and we find a flow of international monies into these companies because they derive and generate excellent returns. It's just a side note that these founders, some of them are women or minorities. And I am seeing partnerships between majority and minority people. Just this week, as I listened to a Kellogg University of Chicago call, there's partnerships with a venture capital fund in India with a firm VC out of Chicago. More of these need to happen around the world.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Moving ahead, today we live in a human-centered concept of society that balances economic progress with solving social problems with systems that highly integrates cyberspace and physical space. Am I right?
Yes.
So how to find intersection between the future of humanity and the world of technology?
It is important to know that the element that ends in this is the human, the consumer, and how the consumer views the world is of utmost importance from a majority standpoint instead of the elite standpoint. I would say that the one thing that this pandemic did was to make everyone rethink the values of their life. Some folks decided they weren't going to get on a plane commuting all the time and being away from their children. People want to be closer to their elders. And the technology is good, and that's what it's done. It's allowed humans to maintain their humanity and still have familiar and experiences that they would not have had. That's the one thing the technology has done. And hopefully that is the benefit of technology, to enhance the value of the human existence.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. One more question coming to you. Can women with little or no technological background explore opportunities in emerging technology space or domains like cybersecurity?
Funny you would ask that. I don't find myself highly technical, but I will tell you, as a child, I did put together the model cars and all those automobiles and planes of my male cousins. I could put them together, but I didn't become an engineer. But I find that I think differently. And I love working in manufacturing and open opportunities for manufacturing. You have to understand that people, when they haven't been experienced or exposed to it, they never know what's in their heart. I was exposed to boats. I love yachts and shipping industry and ports because I was exposed. And what I've done is to take a young person who has not had that experience and expose them. Their point of view is important as the consultant, as an analytical, because of the use of these products in cybersecurity. I mean, I have to tell you, my younger nephews say to me, although I'm the oldest in the family of my sisters, I can get around on the computer a lot faster. That's weird, they say. And it's because I look for those tools that make life easy. And others, if you find the match for ease of technology, and that's where I come to, as you grow older, it becomes difficult, make it easy with tutorials and videos. Thank God for YouTube. I think we YouTube everything. That's the way to go, to include people. And then those people can go into these careers. You can self-teach yourself these days. Those facilities exist on the internet.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yeah. So again, coming back to you, you have been recently nominated and recognized as Savar's most influential corporate directors, a prestigious listing of executives, influencers, and achievers active on the boards of world's leading corporations and organizations. So what one piece of advice would you like to give to our students as a takeaway from your session?
I would say, do not stand in your own way. Seize opportunities. If you can think it, you can do it. And don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid. If you think you know, but you're not sure, ask anyway. Somebody else may have another opinion. All these humans around have a different opinion. And don't feel that you're inferior to asking. You just want to know their viewpoint. That's what we do in a boardroom. We ask questions because we are not the operators of the company. We have a fiduciary relationship, and we all have a fiduciary relationship as a human on this earth to ask and participate.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. One more question, because I could not resist to take questions from the audience. Like, you have been to Boston, you have been to Wharton School, you have been also to Fordham University. So being student, what kind of takeaway would you like to provide our valuable participants? What they should do and what should they do not during their campus life?
Oh, partake in everything, with knowledge being thrown at you. Get into everything. I took the maximum number of courses, took the maximum number of hours I could take. I mean, life is really a learning experience. When you stop learning, you're not on this plane. You're not on this planet. So be inquisitive. In fact, that's what I state to people are the attributes of anyone in this life. Be curious, because you ask questions and you learn always about everything around you. So partake of all those wonderful school courses. Quite honestly, if you don't, you're left behind. I mean, it is the way to continue to learn. Technology is the tool to do what you need to do for anything in your home. I mean, as you go around, do you program your phone and your air condition or your heating system? Do you do anything? You can start your car. I mean, the next little thing I want to get is an EV one day. So an electric vehicle, and I mean, to help the climate and the world, but it's ever present with us, technology. And like I said, my curiosity and insatiable appetite to learn makes me want to learn it.
Yeah, rightly said. Thank you. My dear friends, let me remind you, Beverly is an astute businesswoman with an impeccable character and strong work ethics. She's a great brainstorming practitioner, innovator, and leader. And she always brings good insight in terms of problem solving from different perspective, from different thought process. Thank you so much, ma'am. It's really an honor and pleasure to all of us to interact with you for this International Virtual Summit on Women Frontiers in Exponential Technology. And we look forward to receiving more inputs and guidance from you for our future endeavors as well. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us today.
And thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your points upon the global supply chain and cybersecurity and the importance that it holds in the society of today is of utmost care and love that we've get to hear you today. Thank you so much for it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Absolutely amazing session, wonderfully put. And your experience in technology is absolutely mind-blowing. The way you have encouraged people, the way you have given a very good piece of advice when you say seize the opportunity and don't stop asking questions. I think that is something very important, that sometimes we forget to ask questions once you mature. So thank you so much for that piece of advice, ma'am. Everyone is working. Everyone is working in an environment which is changing at a very, very fast pace. Technology is advancing at an unprecedented rate. Are we ready for it? Or are we still getting ready for it? Sometimes I believe automation, is something which we feel might replace human force, but that's not possible. And it creates new fields for career aspirants and working professionals. This is what your talk tells us, ma'am. Keep learning and to stay ahead of the curve and excel in your career. Whether it is tech oriented or not, you should start thinking about developing such skills which are future proof and will always help you with the skill set of the current world. So, what are these skills? I would like just take a minute over here. What are these some skills? The most recent one, let's say, in demand, which will help you in enhancing your career opportunities. What do you say about the skills you'll need to stay employable and future proof? MIT Center for Future Skills Excellence was conceived with this idea to help upskill students and working professionals with future exponential technologies. We offer certifications and postgraduate diploma in courses like AI and ML, cloud computing, cybersecurity analyst, blockchain technology, data science, Internet of Things, ERP, and so on. We are here to help you if you need any more information on information technology. Do keep connected with us. Over to you, Suruchi.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And a bigger thank you to our guest speaker for the day. Events like these are possible only due to the constant support and encouragement from Honorable Professor Dr. Mangesh Karatsa, Executive President and Vice Chancellor, MIT ADT University. His blessings make such sessions eventful. A big thank you to our mentors, Dr. Anand Chakradev Sir, Pro Vice Chancellor, and Dr. Mahesh Chopre Sir, Registrar, MIT ADT University, for their constant cooperation and motivation in such events. I extend my sincere appreciation to all the deans, directors, HOIs, and HODs at the MIT ADT University. Your support encourages us to progress and flourish. I am indebted to our ecosystem partners who supported and guided us throughout the International Virtual Summit organization. A huge thank you to our knowledge partners, University at Buffalo, Blockchain Think Lab, California Science and Technology University, Center for Finance, Technology and Entrepreneurship, Natalie EV Consulting. Thank you so much to our technology partners, Asset Rush, Collider, Big ID, Paymonk, Innovise, Steezy, Settlement, Securo, Robotex India, and Radicad. A big thank you to our education partners who cooperated and motivated us in all the courses and events. Microsoft, Salesforce, Atos, SAP, Edupeer, AI Beehive, CloudThat, and Skills Factory. Thank you so much to our community partners, OWASP Foundation, Women in Cybersecurity and Privacy, InfoSec Girls, India Blockchain Forum, Global Blockchain Business Council, Women in Blockchain Talks, MKAI. Our inspiration is our innovation partner, AIC MIT ADT Incubator Forum, Cerebro Spark Innovations LLP. Thank you to our certification partners, True Scholar, and a bigger thank you to our digital marketing partner, Brand Niti, Integrated Strategic Advertising and Media Agency. Finally, I'd like to thank the audience from the bottom of my heart who took out their precious time and joined us today. I request you to kindly share your valuable feedback. The link will be shared in the chat box soon. Please note the plethora of sessions that are lined up can be seen on your screen, or you could see them up on www.mitfuturesskills.org/WFET. Let us begin again using the same link at 4 p.m. for the session being A Modern Day Cyber Leader by Ms. Sharman Tan, Chief Growth Officer, Securo Australia, author, TEDx speaker, and global cybersecurity influencer. We hope to see you soon.